start to ask, I'll let you guys jump in and ask any questions you guys have as well.
Okay.
All right, sound good? All right.
Both of you. Oh wait, there's 4. All right, we'll take it. Oh, that time I was reincarnated as a slime and many, many others. And this is my good friend, best friend, Josh Martin.
What's up? I am Josh Martin. I have a similar resume of voices of Dragon Ball Z, My Hero Academia, One Piece, Slime, pretty much everything that Crunchyroll / Funimation has done, I've at least died on somewhere.
Right.
I've done an additional voice.
So many deaths.
Yeah, and Chris and I have known each other since before we booked these parts.
Yes.
We met in acting school
We did.
in 1995, and we were in comedy troupes together throughout school and beyond. And that's kind of where we got introduced to Dragon Ball Z and anime world through Mike McFarlane, who you might know as Master Roshi. He was also in the comedy troupes with us.
Yes, he was. And the only reason I auditioned for Dragon Ball is because he had gotten a part, apparently, and I was like, well, if they're giving you a part, they'll give me a part. So, step aside, Mike.
If they're giving you a part, they'll give
Right.
anybody a part, right?
Like, I'm way more talented than you, Mike.
You'll at least give me a part if they gave me a
Right,
part. Yes.
like if they're just giving out parts to no talent hacks like you, that's not what I'm like. Mike's a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's like kind of where I was gonna go next is like how you guys got in.
That was it.
And just like talking about with you guys being Boo and Satan and like that the anime odd couple and you know.
I mean, we already lived it. And
It was
then
like-
next thing you know,
They were like, oh, here, this works perfect. This dynamic's
right?
great.
It wasn't planned. It wasn't, set out to make that to be the case. It just worked out that way. So
Right.
it was awesome.
So, with you guys being close and working on like the same shows and stuff, I know you don't get to work together a lot in voiceover.
Right.
That's
At
kind of
all.
like unique in the acting world is that like you don't see each other too much besides if like you're directing or something like that,
Sure.
that you might see each other.
Sure.
But you do follow each other
Let's sit down,
sometimes.
sister. Now.
You guys do get to follow each other sometimes into the booth. So like, have you ever, especially being close, have you ever like left a bomb for Chris or Chris you left a bomb for Josh? Anything that you can remember that you can talk about for that?
They don't let us do bombs anymore.
I never did that back in the day. It would have been a perfect opportunity for me to do it with Chris, but I was still trying to figure out how to do it,
Right.
making sure I was doing it well.
Josh wasn't sure what the
enough.
rules were.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first voiceover,
Mine too.
so the days of adding bombs were much later.
Yeah.
And then
They got us in trouble later.
Yeah, they actually
Yeah.
get some people in a little bit of hot water later
I
on.
mean,
never
mine
did
was
it.
funny.
I do. If you guys aren't familiar with bombs, it's like these guys might leave something in the
Right, we'll
booth that-
record something that the character says, but we'll record something we want them to say. So when the next person is in the booth, they hear that as the line and they're, oh my God, that's crazy. you know?
Oh, okay.
So that's a bomb. Like they're not expecting that, and then boom, this character you're expecting to say something says something else to you that they put in there, and you're like, oh, I mean, that's not where we're gonna be the final product. That was recorded separately,
Yeah.
but just to kind of blow up that voice actor, get a laugh out of it,
Yeah, and I'm sure there's been plenty of times where you like walked in and like somebody hit you with one that like really caught you off guard and like probably throws off your routine for a little
I mean,
bit too.
there were a couple I don't remember exactly what they were
Yeah.
by any means, and like I said, they don't really let us do that anymore because of,
Take all the fun out of it.
well, they, you say inappropriate things, which is what ended up happening
Ah,
back in those early days, and then those things got
yeah.
leaked in some way. I don't know how exactly, but some old engineer who didn't work there anymore had saved those files or something.
Yes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. On to something a little bit more serious. You guys get to play these characters that people grow up with, and they just like they love them. That brings a light into their life. How does how rewarding and how does that feel to like meet people who that's the case for them?
It's incredibly rewarding, to be honest with you. Like, my sister is a nurse, and she tells me, Chris, literally save people's lives. And I go, you have no idea what the world of Dragon Ball and others, how many lives those have saved. So I go, I save lives too. I'm like a doctor.
Well, honestly, like it's funny because my wife and myself are nurses, and during COVID, we saw a lot of bad things.
Sure.
And what we did every day to kind of decompress after a shift was come home and watch anime. So
Well, there you go.
I found that has been the case for Dragon Ball Z specifically, and animes for younger kids at the time. It was a time to escape whatever else was going on, whether it be
Yes.
super tragic or otherwise. But it did play a big part in
Even just
their
your
lives
daily
that
downloads, you know,
way.
doldrums.
A way to unplug and just kind of get into the imagination realm. I saw a little bit of that before the conventions when I was working for Barney.
yeah, I remember
And
telling some of those
big
stories
purple
last year.
dinosaur costume, right? So when I got the audition, I didn't want to do it because I was 21 and I didn't want to do children's entertainment, and I was doing comedy troops, and we were
Right, that was
extremely
not
rude.
appropriate for children by any means.
Yeah, our comedy troops were super blue, and but sure enough, I wound up doing the audition and I booked it, and next thing you know, I'm on a world tour. And the first city we went to, while we were there, we also visited a children's hospital, and we did a sing-along for the kids that could come downstairs and wanted to, and then we went up to each room of the kids that wanted to visit, and that taught me, the role and the level, the amount of, the way that it affects people is strong there, and I had a pretty big responsibility, so I appreciated that from then, and it continues to this day, which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
That's super cool. You guys are both parts of like some pretty big anime IPs. You mentioned Dragon Ball Z, One Piece. Those have been going on for 25 plus years now. When you get into
I think around 27, to be honest.
yeah. When you get into a situation like that, with something that's like you're always ended up getting called back eventually, how do you get locked back into like those characters that it may have been a while since you've done them last?
Reference lines.
Yeah, reference lines.
For a short answer.
They will have pre-recorded recordings from what you had done before.
Okay.
That helps you give a good reminder of what you may have been choosing back then. You're kind of like, oh, okay, I remember what I was doing back then for whatever. Well, I'll tell you, I've been doing Mr. Satan for so long. Josh has been doing Boo. We don't need any reminders. We somewhat partially live these characters because we come to conventions like this and we do those characters
Yeah.
for the fans and things like that. And so I've been living in the body of Mr. Satan for a while.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I was gonna ask. It's hard to probably to pick a favorite character, but is there like a character that really resonates with you, or is a kind of a part of you at this point?
Well, I mean, oddly enough, there is a certain amount of typecasting that happens in the world of voiceover, and I very often get the loud, obnoxious guys. And well, I'm like, y'all trying to tell me something? But the reality is, I am loud and obnoxious, and I like it that way. So, cast me all you want.
Totally. Yeah.
How about you guys? Any of you guys have any questions?
Yeah.
I got a
a little bit.
See, I grew up from a generation that I grew up in like Voltus 5, when anime wasn't even called.
It was called Japanimation.
It's called robot Japanese cartoons.
Right.
Pretty much. So that was before your time,
Right.
was it? But
Not really.
No.
I mean, I watched anime as a kid,
Right.
like Robotech.
Yeah.
Battle of the Planets, which was Gatchaman. Battleship Yamato, which was called Star Blazers in the English American version. So I mean, I watched some of those, but you know, they were somewhat popular.
Yeah, they were the biggest thing. I grew up in the Philippines. So
Oh, you
pretty much
did?
it was like Voltus 5 was Zimbabwe,
Yeah,
Grendizer, Ballatak. Those are, I don't think they're that.
I don't know
well
those
here.
ones you're
But
talking
those
about.
are the superstar
Really?
robot.
Or like the mech
They're
kind of,
the biggest thing ever.
like Evangelion and things like
Not
that?
even that. These are Voltus 5. That's where Voltron came in.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where Voltron copied.
Right on.
Pretty much. So that's pretty much in the 70s.
I loved Voltron as a kid.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why my second question would be, are you guys rich?
Say what?
Can being a voice actor make you rich?
No.
Simple answer.
I mean, you can make a decent living if you like. I mean,
Define rich.
yeah, exactly.
Like what I see right now.
Like just doing. I'm not rich. I can guarantee that.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but I am rich in life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And because of Dragon Ball Z and because of Barney, and I would challenge because of my attitude. You know what I mean? I'm here for a good time.
I would tell any voice actor out there though, you're not going to make a living just doing anime. I mean,
No.
unless you're booking the bigger role, unless you're like a star in the world, unless you're a Chris Sabat or a Monica or something, you know, those are the guys making the good money.
But you know, even a guy like Chris, he's directing and.
Oh no, he's directing. He has his own studio outside of the world of anime or Dragon Ball. Does other things, commercial, industrial. He also does anime and everything. I mean, so
And the popularity and stuff has certainly changed that, but unfortunately, the reality is like the pay of like recording
yeah.
is where you have to supplement. Like if that's all you're doing, you have to do something else.
To kind of give you an understanding, like once conventions really started to get in full-fledged thing, and that was a thing you could do on even a monthly basis, you know. I made more money in the first year signing my name to whatever in that year, 1 year, than I did in 25 years on Dragon Ball Z. That'll tell you.
Okay.
Conventions change the landscape, I think.
Sean Schimmel likes to say that in his first year on Dragon Ball Z, he only made $3,000.
And that's the main character.
That's the main character. So
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
you're not getting rich off if you just do anime. But if you start to branch out and you're doing commercial work for a voice actor is where the money is.
I think
That's where you want to be.
I think those are things that people miss out on, like understanding that voiceover, you do audiobooks, commercials, things.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
no. I mean, this is the fun part of it, right?
Yeah.
But the other part of it is, corporate and everything else, and you want to be able to have the chops to be able to make those gigs, because everybody wants, that's money. Corporations, they just throw money at those kinds of
I
things.
recently got to meet Nicholas Roy, and he said he bought his house off a Taco Bell ad.
Oh, yeah?
They keep bringing him back to.
No, like Ian Sinclair, who plays Whis in Dragon Ball. He was the voice of, I don't know, what was it? What was it? I can't remember.
Yes.
Was it like Raising Cane's or something?
Raising Cane's. That's it. Yeah.
That bought him a house.
Yeah.
But Dragon Ball Z did not.
Oh, wow.
That Dragon Ball Z paid for the bills in that house. That's about it. Not the house itself.
Any other questions from you guys for now? Sure.
Yes.
How does it feel to be the strongest in the world?
Amazing. You're welcome.
I think he was talking to me.
I don't see it.
I'm talking to the world champion.
That's right, baby. Yeah,
Mr.
Josh.
Satan.
Yeah. See, you saved the world 3 times. You create a myth, a legend. No, I mean, being Mr. Satan has been super fun and wonderful, and I enjoy debating with fans on the greatness of Hercule. It's a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed
He just seems enjoyed to just impersonate. Be
Right.
be-
Well, I don't have to impersonate him. I am.
Is it?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, it was a lot of fun. I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time. I had a great time. I look for more great times.
I feel like a lot of people underestimate how strong Hercule actually is.
Right?
Like, this
Well,
man-
I don't let them walk away from my table without finding out.
Like,
If that's a question, I let them know.
He answers that.
Right. That's one of Josh's favorite moments too.
So, speaking of things that are underappreciated, what is something that you're in or a role that you've done that you feel is like underappreciated or underrated?
Well, I was in an anime. Did anyone ever see Rage of Bahamut? Bahamut? Exactly. There it is. I played a really fun character, Kaiser, in this show. It's a super fun show. It's like a spaghetti western mixed with fantasy and everything else, and bounty hunters and all this kinds of fun stuff.
It's like a cowboy.
And the second season came around, and I thought, man, this show will get a second season, sweet. And Amazon bought it, and we didn't get to do it. I'm like, what the hell? So if you ever see Rage of Bahamut, that was one I thought was really undervalued. And it was really good. The animation is excellent. The story is super cool. So look it up. I'm great in it.
How about you, Josh?
Oh man, I wish I had a bigger part in One Piece, My Hero.
Yeah.
But I get little splashes in there, so I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
I can't complain.
absolutely. Yeah, to even be part of like some of those iconic IPs, it's just like
Right?
mind blowing, right?
Yeah. I get to be native for 5 minutes.
Well, guys, have your careers ever bring you to Japan? Since that's the origin of all of
Man, I certainly hope so one day.
Or
But
it's all
I would-
locally sourced, pretty much.
if anyone wants to buy me a ticket,
Let's go.
I will be more than happy to. That's something that my daughter and I have talked about a little bit here and there, but maybe one day we treat ourselves with a trip to Japan, but
It is a goal.
those tickets are
It is.
expensive. And I like to fly first class, and it gets really expensive.
Yeah, that trip is that's a long flight. I made
That-
that a couple times.
I've looked it up.
14 hours.
Like, it's like over $10,000 for a first class flight to
Yeah.
Japan.
I did business class, but the reason I did it was because they were like last second, they didn't have them all full.
Right.
So they were like selling an upgrade pretty cheap last second, and I was like, I'll lay down flat for 14 hours. That sounds good.
Yeah, I'll buy the regular one and then hope I can upgrade later on the app or something like that, but I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna give me the deal I want on the trip to Japan.
Doing a lot of travel for stuff like this, is there something specific away from like the conventions that you guys like to see or do or experience? Like you're big foodies or big on like museums or history or sites or whatever.
I'd say that, with these specific events, most of the time is spent at the event.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes even it's connected to the hotel that you're staying at.
Yeah.
So getting away from that is seldom, a lot of times.
Yes.
So, and if you do, but for us, I know we look for a good meal at the end of
Yeah.
Saturday, because, it's been a long, at least Saturday, if not Friday and Saturday, and then you just like, okay, let's find a good meal, a couple of cocktails, adult beverages, and unwind,
Good way to reward yourself.
right? I'd love to do some sightseeing, but it's just arrange it, travel time.
Yeah, my AI told me that Galapagos, is that how I say it? Did I say it wrong? Galapagos, whatever. I feel like y'all are saying it wrong. My way is way cooler. And anyway,
Rhode
was a hot spot in the Underground Railroad.
Interesting.
There's
One
a
of the
plaque
major-
downtown to signify as much on it. That's
One of the
kind of
major stops.
I live a couple hours from here. Didn't know that. So.
Right? Boom! Drop your knowledge. That and like one of the world's oldest high schools exists right here as well.
The one and only one here.
Yeah, Galapagos Academy. was built in 1803 and is still there and is now currently the middle school.
Thank you,
I hope they
Jim.
made some renovations.
Right? I'm sure it has. I'm sure it has. I really hope it has. You know? Otherwise, you feel like you're on a tour or something.
you're running a
of
risk
like
here.
Ancient colonial times.
Do you have a favorite place to travel, like whether it's for a convention or like just for leisure?
I don't know. I don't often travel for leisure. Not enough, that's for sure. I love New York City.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorite places.
very fast paced, lots of stuff to do though.
Yeah, I just like to watch it all happen, you know, as it goes by.
I like Vancouver,
Oh, Vancouver's nice. I like it.
Whistler.
Are you ski?
I don't, but it's beautiful up there.
I was honestly thinking you were gonna say a beach, Josh, somewhere.
I love a good
Tropical
beach.
beach. So.
Yeah.
I can't stand the beach. I hate the beach.
Isla Mujeres, that's a good spot. The
Who
island.
put all that sand out there? We don't need all that.
The ocean.
No. Somebody should talk to them.
I like to lounge, have them bring me Miami Vices all day.
Miami Vices?
Yeah, it's strawberry and pina colada. Strawberry daiquiri and pina colada mixed together.
Strawberry daiquiri? And your pina coladas?
They call it Miami Vice.
Miami, well.
I had heard of it, but I wasn't sure.
Lock me up, Tubbs.
I mean,
Oh, man.
Anybody else have any questions right now?
Thoughts,
Well, we get to go up
feelings?
north?
Huh?
Oh, we get to go up north? To the
The-
New England area or anything?
To where?
I will be in Rhode Island later on this year.
Like the New England area, she said.
Oh, no.
Not Rhode Island Comic Con, Rhode Island Anime.
In what?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember the date.
No, I meant that's the town.
Oh,
Yes, in Warwick.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know where this is?
Well, yeah, I was born and raised in Rhode Island.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, we're from Rhode Island. Don't ask, we get down here.
There is some good food there, so.
You want the best seafood in the world, just don't go to the beach part of it.
Right.
Clam cakes,
20% of the historical landmarks out of the entire country are in Rhode Island because of all the mansions and the fancy people, but I'm from like, we're from northern Rhode Island.
Is that really accurate? 20% of the historical landmarks?
It's because of all the mansions down there, but you have all the Rockefeller and all.
Oh, the Rockefellers.
And the Native American.
Wow.
Because we're all Indian reservation, we're all, that's where we're from, that part.
So
We're not the fancy part.
in Newport, they have like the oldest, in Newport, they have the oldest restaurant in the US.
Yeah.
It was, what is it, White Horse? It's White Horse Tavern. Very, very good.
Because the Texas man, all we got is the Alamo.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really small and stupid.
I heard it's small, but I still don't want to go there.
There's no basement in the Alamo either.
There's no basement.
You remember it.
Right.
She improv lots of that stuff. I heard.
How about, so,
Anyone else? Thoughts, feelings, questions? Funny limericks?
I was wondering, Boo, Evil Boo, or Big Boo?
I like Fat Boo.
Oh.
Yeah, I like Fat Boo.
Who doesn't like that Boo?
Right?
Honestly.
Now, if I have a little pent-up aggression, Kid Boo's the way to go.
Okay.
Right, I'm just like, oh, really? I get to do Kid Boo today? Perfect. I got some.
It's like, I was gonna feed my children, but now I'm just gonna do kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Just what I was looking
Right?
for.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, Fat Boo. Come on.
Okay.
What's not to love? Keep, the basic integrity of Barney being a good role model and all positive. I'm all for it. You know.
Bringing joy to kids.
That's it. I'm 50. I'm not getting in a costume anymore. That ain't happening. They moved on from. If it ain't gonna be Bob as the voice, and it ain't gonna be Dean Went, then I'm sure it ain't gonna be me. You know what I mean? They've already moved on and gotten other people to do the voice. So again, as long as it's good and positive, and I think a horror version, which has been purported, I think that's a bad idea. I think we keep them
I think they already made
preschoolish.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make
Didn't
more
they?
versions of like everything.
Maybe AI made it, but nobody produced that yet. There's just nobody. No, they keep talking about it, and I see names being connected to it.
Well, no,
and
wasn't there
I'll
like a Winnie
believe
the
it.
Pooh movie?
Yeah,
where-
so that's what I was
Right.
just gonna mention was that like,
Right.
I think
That's-
that's why Disney's doing some of these like reboot live actions to re-up the licensing is what somebody was
That's
telling
the
me.
deal.
So that they don't lose it like
Well, they
did
do
with
do a
Boo.
better job because those live action movies are crap.
What's the quickest
In my
way?
opinion. Am I wrong? Come on, guys.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
I hadn't seen a good one yet.
Not, I saw one, I can't remember what it was.
I didn't think Aladdin was terrible. But most of them are pretty bad.
A lot of people like Lion King, it's like, I don't get the appeal.
I'm like, now, it's just CGI now,
Yeah.
right? Like, it was animated, it's still animated.
Essentially, yeah.
Right.
That- Yeah, that one didn't make a ton of sense to me.
That, you lose all the voices we all loved over the years, right?
Yeah.
There's the deal.
Any other questions from you guys?
Were you disappointed about Boo not being in the Tournament of Power?
Yes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think we got that
I
question
agree.
last year too. You probably get that question every.
I agree.
Regularly, but yeah, we think that it's just because they couldn't
They couldn't-
be in it and not win it like
Yeah,
the
I
Yeah,
think
first.
they couldn't justify Boo losing to anyone.
I think it'd be too powerful. to have-
Right, like Android 17, come on.
They were already pushing it.
I mean, look
Eat
what
him
happened.
alive.
Look what happened when they messed with Mr. Satan. Like,
Right.
I was destroying stuff. They're, oh God, give him more cupcakes. Put him to sleep.
Mr. Satan would have no-dipped the whole tournament.
Totally.
They didn't let him-
Right, well, based on how the other arcs had gone, I thought, well, for sure, Mr. Satan's gonna have a little hand in this, because he had a little hand with Boo, he had a little hand in,
Yeah.
Cell and everything. I thought for sure, but after they put Boo to sleep, I'm like, nah, probably not.
See, I thought they should have gone all the way to the end, and it would be me versus you, and then
Oh,
you
man.
would trick me
Dude.
into throwing it for you, right? Like,
Bruh.
hey,
Bro.
hey, don't punch me, and I'll give you all the pudding you want.
Right, why didn't we get that right?
Right?
Come on.
Did you late get that kind of collaboration going?
Right?
They don't ask.
They don't call or nothing.
That's the thing too. It just is imported already complete, right? We just strip it of the sound and redo it. If I had my druthers, we'd have a spin-off series already. You know.
Did you have, yeah.
That's probably a little
Sorry,
bit
I'm
of the
having
downside
back
of doing
off
anime
on me.
is that like, you have to kind of honor the work. You don't get to put in too much.
Well, downside maybe a little harsh. I'd say it's definitely a restriction,
Yeah,
right? Whereas especially in improv, right? Live theater, improv is improvisation. You're not constricted to much at all, except for maybe a suggestion.
Right.
And even a suggestion, you can take that suggestion and go anywhere with it. You know what I mean? You can forget about that in 2 seconds. But Boo is a big fat pink character that likes candy and kills people because Bobby does. I didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? The only thing I had to do with it is that I was doing a character in a comedy troupe, and the character was Pillsbury Homeboy. Right? So I could do the Pillsbury Doughboy voice.
We had turned Pillsbury Doughboy into a gangster rapper.
Yes.
And Josh would write lyrics to actual gangster rapper songs that would revolve around baking and, like, say, marijuana and stuff like that, you know? And,
So yeah, and
Sounds
Savick
pretty
came to
awesome.
see came to see our show, and he saw me do that character, or saw me do my Pillsbury Homeboy, and he thought the cute voice saying rude things was,
He's
in
like-
line with Majin Buu, who is cute but kind of evil.
it's like, now I don't have to audition anybody. Take Josh.
That's how that happened.
I
I don't know if I answered the question. I forget if there was a question.
So what's the
Yeah.
question?
I'm sorry.
Is it right place, right time?
It is, and that's what I tell people
Question was-
when people are saying, "What do you?" I think I remember the question now, but how do you get into voice acting? There's 9 million different ways, and equally as many ways to learn techniques and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about doing it. You just got to do it. Put yourself into position. and do the best you can to be prepared for the opportunity that arises so that you can show out when you get that opportunity. And then
They say in the
there's no
entertainment
question.
business, it's all about who you know. That is damn right. If you don't know the right people, you're not getting that job.
Well, speaking of getting into it and getting going on voice acting, I saw Chris, you do classes to like teach.
I do.
Yeah.
I
can
do.
you
I
talk a little
teach-
bit about that.
I teach workshops. It's an online workshop as of now. It used to be an in-person one before COVID. But now it's online, and any of you could take it. It is a 2-day class over 12 hours where we work through audition processes, putting your voice in the mouth flaps, going through the ADR process, putting your voice in the mouth flaps of the characters, into some video game character building, 'cause it also covers video games. And then we, as a class, complete full scene of anime at the end. We watch it, review it, and talk about it. I bring in other voice actors and directors to help through this class. This time around, I have a class coming at the end of the month. I bring in great people like Monica Rial and Kara Edwards. I've literally had the cast with Dragon Ball Z help me teach this class. So I've been teaching now for about 8 years. And excuse me, the amount of people who have been through my class, not that my class was what made them who they are. They're on their journey. So, my class has been a good gateway point for people who are wanting to enter into that world, because I see a lot of their names on cast lists these days, and I'm proud of that. But, again, it's all about you and what you can do with it and what your journey is. And my class can be a very nice stepping stone in that world if you want to get into anime and video games. So.
Where's the class?
It is online, and like I said, I have one coming up here at the end of the month. It's already full. But if you follow me on the social medias, Facebook, not Twitter, because Twitter sucks nowadays.
Yes.
X.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, I don't make any excretions on X anymore.
We don't need any comments on next
I think the X was to get rid of it.
So like Instagram, even TikTok, Facebook, you look me up on social medias there. Usually those things are pinned to the top of whatever pages you're looking at, and there is a phone number you can call. It'll be to me. I will be the one answering that phone call, and I'll answer any questions you may have about it. And I do the classes about every couple of months, so about 5 to 7 times a year.
Now, does it matter like where you live, because where this is a very remote area?
It does not, as long as you have a computer.
Oh, no, I meant, back to the class, like where would you, because I know that this is their interest.
Right.
I've seen the video game in a couple of the episodes they've watched.
Right.
I'm old. So, where would, after your class, do
Right.
you give like recommendations of where you would go, because it's like, again, a remote area?
Yeah, like I said, we do offer opportunities for any Q&As about what the industry has to offer, what it means to be a remote actor as opposed to someone who can come in person, and where you maybe need to achieve more so in the in-person world so you can become that remote actor. So I would say there are not a lot of opportunities for people who don't live in that world or live close by so they can come in. It's going to be harder for you to be a remote actor without having somewhat established yourself in that world. Like Sean Schimmel lives in LA. Dragon Ball is recorded in Dallas. They're fine with that, right?
So
But
is your
but if
name-
you're newer, you're not going to get cast in something unless one, you already have the setup in your own home. That's like an in-home setup studio that passes the regulations they need. There's the requirements they need in order to be able to record from it. That's one thing.
So
So
they would just follow your name on Instagram?
I'm sorry.
They would just go on Instagram?
Follow me on Instagram, Facebooks, and or the TikToks. And you can find out about that there.
That sounds like a good-
But if I were to recommend, if you really did want to get into the anime industry and you want to start voicing anime, you got to move to Texas or LA.
Yeah, I just think it's a good class for them to take at their age.
Yeah, I would agree.
Do you, I feel like that maybe is a little bit of a positive that came out of the pandemic was the amount of availability to like
Yes.
send things in and do remote stuff. Is there some like aspect to that class that you could help with like she was saying, this is a very remote area.
Right.
To like be able to record, or get like any kind of like studio to record in would probably be somewhat difficult. Would you guys be able to help with like recommendations for like a home studio or like?
No, I have an engineer who's the head engineer at Sound Cadence Studios. And he'd be more than happy to kind of give you an understanding of what it is to treat a room or a corner of your house that will work, and other devices, what equipment you need to buy that's not going to break the bank, and stuff like that. So some basic startup tools. What you really need to worry about is the equipment you buy should be based on the amount of work you're getting. Like, don't be breaking the bank to buy a bunch of equipment when you don't really even have a career, right? So let your equipment,
Work its way up.
show who you are as you grow. Don't break the bank for, as you start out.
But I think to that point where you were talking about like LA and Texas, that is important because even amongst experienced actors like you guys, I'm sure there are castings at times because I've heard like other guys.
Oh, but that's
I feel like
good
that
stuff.
is what it
Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. You got to read, you know what I mean? You just continue to, right? You just continue to read for, as an actor, and the jobs come along. I think Rager takes less on-camera auditions these days.
I do not.
You don't do any?
I do not.
Yeah. But, every once in a while I'll get a casting, I'll be like, this will be cool, I'll try it. Haven't booked anything recently.
Right, you never know.
keep- right? I didn't even want to do Barney,
Right?
much less think I could get it. And then next thing you know, I'm on tour, jumping in this purple costume. And it was great, you know what I mean? It was a great experience. It was, I got paid.
Because Barney equaled green, right? Purple means green.
Every Friday. Yeah. All of a sudden, I was getting paid to go to college. I felt like, I was learning geography. I was learning history. I was learning carpentry, mechanics, live stage production, lighting, all of this stuff, and I was getting paid to do it.
Because Josh
Nobody knew what I
became
was doing.
friends with the roadies while he was on tour. So he became a roadie. When things would break down, he would help the roadies.
Well, I think that's all the time we got. Thanks so much for.
Thank you.
You guys have any other questions for them? You guys are here till.
About 3:30 or so.
All right, so stop by the table, ask
About three.
them. Yeah, feel free to ask.
What now? About 3, according to Tommy.
But give it one more time for Josh and Chris, guys.
See ya.